Hi guys, welcome back. Shabs here, and in today's video I'm going to be covering the 3 most common psychological mistakes that every trader makes. So we're going to get stuck right in and kick this video off by covering none other than revenge trading as a first commonly made mistake. Now, a revenge trader is a trader that will most likely blow their account, if not in a day, in a week, or a very, very short period of time. These people will basically chase a loss by trying to continuously go back in the market to regain that loss. What they don't realize is that they may get lucky after the first and second revenge trading trades. However, let me assure you that the markets will eventually absolutely crush you, your psychology, as well as your account. Now, the good news with revenge trading is that there is a solution. So more often than not, the first problem is most likely that your lot or position sizes are too big in the first place. Because if you find yourself in a place where you've placed a trade and you've lost that trade, if you cannot handle and deal with the loss, then your positions are probably too large. You should be completely comfortable with the losses that you make because they've been risk managed according to your account size and to what you can comfortably accept as a trader. Now, if you find that the position sizes are not a problem, then the problem is more likely to do with your mindset and your expectations of the market. If you find that your loss isn't that great, but you're still struggling to deal with the loss, then I think you need to go back and come to terms with the fact that as a trader, we will all incur losses. That is just part of this industry, and that is a part of trading, and that's something that you have to become one with and completely accept. And if you cannot accept that losing is a part of trading, then revenge trading is something that you will constantly find yourself going back to, and that is not a good idea. The second thing is fear of missing out. Now, this is a funny one because traders that have fear of missing out are more often than not the most optimistic traders. They think that the trade they're about to go into is probably the best setup they're about to go into. As a result of which, they feel that if they do not take that trade, there is not going to be another opportunity like it. Now, saying that out loud, you can probably see how silly it sounds because of course we know as traders there are always going to be hundreds if not thousands of trades just ready to be taken in the next hours and days to come. But because of the mindset and the way that we get fixated into think that it's either now or never, when we fall victim of a fear of missing out, we then start taking trades, and more often than not, they're probably not the best trades and sometimes weak trades. Therefore, we end up over trading because we fear missing out on the potential trade. Now, the good news is that how we can prevent ourselves from doing this is by, for a short period of time, secluding ourselves. So if you are someone that is heavily on social media, on Telegram groups, even on signal services and chat rooms, then take a step away. Because a lot of the time, what encourages us to go into a trade that's probably not the best trade is because we see other people either share their profits or the fact that they're in a live position, and we think, oh my God, we're missing out because we're not in a position, or we're missing out because we didn't make any profits. Therefore, the best thing you can do if you find yourself at this place is to take a step away from the markets and go back to trading on your own and cut out any distractions. Now, if you find that by doing that, you find yourself in a position where you're lacking inspiration or you're unable to find potential trade setups, then there's probably a deeper problem here. You're probably using social media and other people's trade biases and setups to go in and maybe even copy. If you find that that's the case, then you need to probably just take a step away from the charts and go back to pen and paper, go back to education, go back to understanding and educating yourself and learning trading to the point where you understand when to take a trade, how to take a trade, your entry points, your risk management, without you having to use other people's trade setups and biases as a crutch. Remember, it should be a tool for you to take inspiration from, as opposed to a tool where you're just replicating and copying other people's setups and biases. Last but not least, now this is a strange one. The third most commonly mistake is something that a lot of people don't even realize that they're victim of, and that's something referred as the Gamblers Fallacy. What this is basically a very strong belief that if a certain event occurs abnormally and more frequently than it has occurred in the past, then the likelihood of the opposite of that event occurring is now all of a sudden going to be higher. Now, we all know that with trading, it's very much probability. No one knows at any point what way the markets are going to go. It can either go up or down. All we can do is minimize and strengthen our biases by stacking up the confluences. Now, a lot of people that fall victim of the Gambler's Fallacy do so because they don't even realize that that is the kind of thinking they have embedded deep within their thought process. They think that just because a certain pair has gone long successfully for the past couple of trades, that the likelihood of it now going short is going to be a lot higher just because the last 5 trades on GA, for example, was long. Now, what they don't seem to realize is by having this belief, we're then insinuating that there's some sort of greater power, or the markets have some way of realizing that the past 5 trades have been long and therefore the next trades have to be short. This then reflects in trading and trading psychology, because when a trader incurs a losing streak, they continue to trade, they continue to revenge trade, because they think, okay, well, my last 10 trades have been a loss, the next one's bound to be a winning trade. And that's when they get themselves in that vicious cycle of continuously chasing the losses and so forth. So that's a very important one. And a lot of people suffer from this mostly because they don't even realize that they're victim of it. So the only real solution to that is to just be very, very mindful, to constantly check in with yourself and to almost go through a mental checklist before you take a trade, and come to terms with the fact that each trade that you're taking should be an independent trade. You should not base the outcome of that trade based on what the last trade was. Every trade is independent, and that you should focus on it as it is as a whole. So that is it for this video, guys. I hope it has helped. Like I said, do make suggestions for any future videos and topics you'd like me to cover, but I'll see you guys on here very, very soon. Take care.